no money, that's an asshole. It wasn't a phase.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Senior Citizen Podcast, and we're here with Xavier from Rune and Disorient now.
Yes,
okay.
yes. I haven't announced. I mean, I obviously haven't announced.
No, I saw it on social media.
Yeah.
You announced it.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Pretty good. You know, just got out of work. I'm not in Miami too often. Every time I'm in Miami, I'm just like, wow, there's like always something going on here. I live in Lake Worth. It's like pretty boring over there.
Dude, thank you so much for driving down. I had no idea you were in Lake Worth.
I work in Deerfield. I came here right after work, so it's super awesome. Super awesome to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming out, and I have to just give you props because I did go out to your show and, I invited you on the podcast, everything. You were like, hey, there's a show, and I was like, that's late. I don't go to anything that starts later than like 8 p.m. because I like being in bed by like 10. But your show started at 10, and I was like, no, I'm going to come out.
Oh my God, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
No, dude, thank you so much for inviting me. Your vocals are so on point. And I want to start with that because you are probably one of the best vocalists that I have met in the flesh. No offense to anybody else.
I'm gonna cry. That means a lot to me. Thank you so much.
How'd you get into the music, into vocals, into
So funny enough, when I was little, first like hard, really heavy song I ever listened to, like I didn't go out of my way. My parents aren't really into heavy music at all. In fact, they were like Demon Child. But first heavy song I ever listened to was on my sister's MP3 player. I like stole it. Crystal, I'm sorry. She probably knew anyway. But and I was listening to Wait and Bleed by Slipknot, and like I just listened to that song on repeat. I was like, I wish I could do that. But eventually, like I just started getting into like anything rock, like Papa Roach, 3 Days Grace, and like I didn't know how to play any instruments. I knew how to play violin. That was like the only instrument I knew how to play. But like you don't see a lot of violin in rock, and like I'm just like a metalhead, and like I love any alternative rock music, metal music, and so instead of playing any instruments, I just sang in the shower as much as I possibly could, and I was terrible for a very long time. Like I was going through like some old YouTube videos of like me singing like some a cappella songs I wrote, and it was pretty bad, but like just so everybody knows, like, not everyone's, like, inherently a good singer. Like, for me, it took a lot of work. But overall, just growing up, my biggest inspirations, like, 3 Days Grace, Papa Roach, and then once I started listening to, like, emo music, Escape the Fate was, like, the biggest inspiration I had, like, up to this day.
Yeah, so you have, like, a tattoo, and you're wearing the shirt.
Yeah, I have 2 Escape the Fate tattoos,
dude,
actually.
Wait, what does that one say?
This one says, Maybe Your Heart Was Built for Raking, which is from their song 4-Letter Word. Yeah, it's one of their newer songs. Not a lot of people like listen like past like the
Ronnie Radke
like big fight deal. But I love Craig. Like I honestly, he was like a vocalist I really looked up to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Phoenix, so my friend Colton actually was the one who showed me Escape the Fate,
mm-hmm.
and it kind of came full circle because Craig Mabbitt is from Phoenix, Arizona. And so Craig Mabbitt starts a side project called The Dead Rabbits, and now that friend that showed me Escape the Fate is now playing bass for him in that project. And I'm like,
oh, wow.
Oh my God. And like, so it just all came full circle. I'm so happy for him.
You're 1 degree of separation away from Craig Mabbitt.
Yeah, no, I mean, he doesn't really know me at all, but I'm so happy for that friend. Like, that's like one thing I'm like really big about in like the scene in general is like, I support everybody. Like I'm here for that energy. Like if you tell me like, I'm really just trying to figure, like, because at the end of the day, I really don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm just here for the fun. I'm like, I love playing music. I love writing music.
Right.
I'm here for the ride, and whatever happens along the way, like, I'm happy to do it.
Right. So we had the shower vocal training arc.
Yes. Yes. I mean, like, I did actually go to vocal coaches at some point. Like, when I moved here, I moved to Florida in 2009. Did like your typical high school choir classes, like, tried out for like the advanced choir. I would get like the worst shake singing in front of people. Like, I had the worst stage fright, but then I eventually got over that. So, after high school, I did a couple of like different vocal training. Like I was self-taught on how to scream, but, I was like hurting myself. So I just stopped screaming for a while. And then like actually in the last year, I went to a different vocal coach who actually taught me how to scream properly. And it was it costs a little bit of money, but it's definitely worth it. Like it's gonna save me later
in the
on
long
so
run.
much.
Yeah.
And I went to like a couple different vocal coaches here and there because like I'm my own worst critic. Like I always want to be better at anything I'm doing. So like I think like getting a coach is kind of like a cheat code for life sometimes.
It was a go-to.
Yeah.
But what was the best thing that the coach taught you?
So
that we can all, take a little bit of your money here and
no, that's fine. Please, like, learn from my mistakes. I think that's the greatest thing in the world. I think the best thing that vocal coach has ever taught me, pretty much just like breathing and like opening your mouth, right? Because whenever you see like people singing in music videos and stuff, like absolutely no one's actually doing anything live in music videos, but like they're just trying to look cool, right? Like they're not like when they hit like anything in their higher register, they're not really opening their mouth like they really should. So of course, like I'm always worried about how I look and stuff because sometimes I'm self-conscious. Sorry, but that's like the biggest thing that one of my vocal coaches taught me. It's like, you like have that range, like you just need to open your mouth. And I'm like, okay, fine. So that's kind of the biggest thing in terms of harsh vocals. The biggest thing that I knew and that my coach taught me for like screaming and stuff is just like, don't try too hard to be loud, because when you try too hard to be loud, everything like fizzles out. It's like actually like the tighter that you hold your throat is like kind of once everything starts to happen naturally. So it took a long time before I was like even comfortable like doing anything on stage. Like the first show we played with Rune, we were at Tough Times Tavern in Pompano, and like before the first song I was like kind of shaking because it was a long time since I played on stage. And then after the first song I go to my guitarist David and I'm like, you good? He's like, yeah, we're good. And then we played a kick-ass show.
That's awesome.
It was so great. Yeah.
What I love about Tough Times Tavern, and they follow us, so thank you guys.
Yes. Awesome.
I went to one show there, and I saw it in person, and I was like, I like this place, I like the vibe, whatever. But then I saw pictures of people playing there, and I was like, there's no way that's the same place.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely not. Why does it look that much cooler in pictures?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they're a great venue.
It's so cool playing at that venue, too, because, like, when we played there, they didn't have, like, the little stage that they do right now, but, like, it was, like, so tight-knit that, like, it felt like we were playing at, like, a packed-out stadium because you couldn't see any. I'm also short, so, like, I couldn't really see anything, like, too much in front of me, and the people in front were going, like, so hard. I really appreciate that energy because they had no idea who I was. They were just like, yeah, local band's playing, cool, and I was like, I felt like we were Queen. Like, it was awesome.
No, and I see you really try to hype up the crowd and everything at Poorhouse. You were like, come on, guys, get close.
Yeah, I mean, what I do on stage is I just try and copy any other vocalist that, like, I respect on stage and just try and emulate them, like, as much as possible. Because, like I said, like, it's a big guessing game for me, and I just, like, try and give the energy that I like to, or try and get the energy at shows that I like to give. So, like, that's kind of full circle overall at shows.
No, and you learn from trial and error and everything. And I can see now that I know that you're a big Escape the Fate fan, like where the influences come from in your music. Because I love Escape the Fate. I loved it more in the Radke era, I will admit.
That's okay. Ronnie Radke's a beast, man. Like he's doing stuff in the scene that like I never thought that anyone in like that
I can't get into the rap.
Do.
I can't get into the rap. Like
not
his rap.
It's not for everybody, I will admit, but like my favorite song from Falling Into Verse right now is Zombified. Like, I think that song is, like, insane. I don't know if he raps too much in that song, but, like, overall, like, how big Ronnie's gotten, like, Popular Monster, like, that song just blew up.
Yeah, but it's because he's controversial, the things he says.
Of course. I mean, it has gotten to a point in this age where, like, whoever's the loudest is the best.
Exactly. I have nothing against him. I will critique him, in a objective manner. Yeah. I am a Ronnie Radke fangirl. Like, I will go out and see him at a show. I don't care. I love him. But, it is what it is.
Yeah,
you can't cover these things up.
You gotta take the good with the bad, and he knows that too. He fully embraces that. And I don't know the guy personally by any means, but just seeing like.
But I would like to come out to the podcast, defend yourself.
Yeah, come on, please. Don't hate me, Ronnie.
Right. We did nothing wrong. Sips LaCroix to wash away.
Like. Oh my gosh.
So how did Rune get started?
Rune. So, for the longest time, Rune's actually my first band. So for the longest time, I just like kind of kept to myself, in terms of like writing music. Like if you go back on my Instagram, you'll see like all the cringy like acapella singing videos, because I've written songs for like 15 years now, and like I didn't know like how to get a band started or anything like that, so I went to my friend Dex's show. He's playing in a Green Day cover band called the American Idiots. Shameless plug. But and he was killing it on stage, and there was like a huge crowd. Like the crowd energy was like really well involved, and I see him on stage and I'm like, he's older than I am. Like he's like in his mid 30s, and I always like said to I'm only 27 years old, but I always said to myself like, I don't know, I feel like it's too late for me to like do that stuff. So ironically, I go on Bandmix, which Bandmix is pretty much just like Tinder for people that want to play music together. And so I find my guitarist David, and he just has videos of him and our drummer Ted just like playing some original songs, and they're pretty much just like, we need a singer, we have like a couple songs written but we have no vocals, and if you want to come in, try out, do something. And so they send me a song, and I end up like in less than 2 hours I had like the full song written. Like it's our first song, Show Cold, and I come in, try out, and like we jam it a couple times, and he's like, all right, you're our singer. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And so I was like, we didn't have a bassist at the time either. Like we ended up getting Johnny in a couple months after. Mm-hmm. We had an original bassist, but like life got in the way for him. Like he's like has a family and stuff, so we understood. So
lame.
Yeah. It's okay. If I was married with children, I would understand how like being in a band could get in the way. But we found Johnny, and Johnny's a phenomenal bassist. Like he plays for another band called Mason Pace, who's also amazing. And Johnny comes in and it's just like we're just playing guitar, drums, and vocals, and he just comes in just like on the fly, just starts coming up with stuff, and we're like, yeah, this is our guy. And so we all just like mesh together really well. We're all just like a bunch of dorks who just make fun of each other during practice, and then like a week before the show we just tighten up and we're super serious about practice, and then you see what happens on stage. Like it's super fun. Writing is definitely interesting, because how the writing works with Rune is like the instruments are all written first, and then like they kind of give it to me and I just write whatever over it.
So this is the second time I'm talking to someone that, lyrics come in last.
Yeah,
in my head, it always like lyrics come in first.
Yeah, and it was weird for me because, like I said, like I was just like on my own writing little acapella songs. I had no like I didn't know how to play guitar chords or anything, or like chords on the piano or anything. So since then that's changed. Like I like picked up drums in the last couple of years, and I kind of picked up a little bit on guitar, but would not call myself proficient on guitar at all. Nobody asked me to play anything, please. But
can we pull out the guitar from the back?
No, don't do it. It'd be terrible.
Rip the one off the wall over there.
I know like one song, and it's not even that good. But yeah, with writing, they had like 3 songs ready, and I pretty much like it was kind of trial and error because not everything worked like the first time, but pretty much the message stayed the same in every song. That's a big thing with me, is that like and I'm not trying to say anything about anyone else, but like with me is that my lyrical content like really matters to me. Like every one of the songs I've written for Rune or anything really, those are really personal songs, like, and like whether I'm saying it black and white, like this would happen in my life, or like this is the message I want to get across to everybody, like every single song like means a lot. And so like even my band members notice things like that. Like it was funny because we were trying to like make merch, and my guitarist is like, can you send me the lyrics to like one of our songs, because I gotta be honest, I like don't read your lyrics until the song's done. And I'm like, thanks man, that means a lot.
Damn. Value my work, homie.
Yeah, for real. I mean, eventually he does, and he's like, you did a good job. I'm like, thanks, David. Was that so hard? Because he's like a really harsh critic.
Hey. Reading is hard for some of us.
Yeah, I can't read either. It just
No,
happens.
dude. I started reading this year. Was like one of my like goals for 2023. I'm like, let me stop being illiterate for a second because I haven't read anything for fun in like 10 years.
Oh my gosh.
So it's been a challenge, but it's been good.
Yeah.
Well,
I used to read for fun. I wish I do it more, but I just stopped.
yeah. There's just no time, and then to really sit down and get into a book and focus and whatever. But
Yeah.
you also have a lot going on because you have a second project going on. So tell me a little bit about Disorient.
Yeah, so Disorient is a lot different from Rune actually. So Rune actually it's not like insanely different, but so with Rune is very we aim to be a little more progressive because everyone in Rune is like big like Tool fans. So you'll see with like not the songs that we have released right now, but with the other songs that we're about to release, we're trying to get in the studio and record them, is that they are very much like we're emulating Tool in a sense.
That's why you did a Tool cover?
That's why we did a Tool cover. Actually, that was like when I tried out for Rune, like that song Vicarious that we covered was like one of my tryout songs.
Oh.
Which is like why I really wanted to play it live. They're like, what cover are we going to do? I'm like, let's just do Vicarious, guys. Come on. And they're like, fine. Even though it's like an 8-minute song, but it was still fun. But Disorient is kind of more so like active rock. So like I already have the first song done for Disorient. And it's being mixed. Me and my producer, my friend, I don't want to say he's my producer because like he's a super cool guy, Javi Mello. He works out here in Miami. He works with like the Luxrum guys a lot. Mm-hmm. And I kind of gave him a vision. It's just like I really want to make a project that's a lot like Nerve or like Escape the Fate. I was like, and he was like, yeah, man, let's do it. And so like he kind of helped me like in terms of songwriting, so we like co-write the songs, and yeah, I'm really excited for that stuff. So the reason that like I didn't split off from Room, but like the reason that I have a second project is because like I want to write this kind of style of music, but I don't want to force that on my bandmates because I know what they want, and
right.
It wouldn't be fair for them to do that. I've never been like the person that says we do as I say, because like at the end of the day you're in a relationship with like 3 or 4 other dudes when you're in a band, so you got to keep everybody happy.
That's your married life and kids.
Exactly.
Right there.
Exactly.
That's why the other guy left.
Yeah.
All right. So, and then Disorient, is it just a you project, or is there other people involved besides the producer?
Besides the producer, there's no one else involved at the moment. Like I said, I only have one song right now for Disorient. I mean, I've started like kind of writing some other stuff for it, but as for all the time I can give it right now, it's kind of just me in production right now. But it still is pretty awesome. Like there is a guest feature vocalist for the first song that I guess I'll say it on here because like I've already kind of told some new people.
Exclusive info.
So I don't know if you know the band Colorblind.
No.
But, okay, they're amazing. Everybody should listen to them. I love that band. But their singer Travis is actually guest featuring on Disorient's first single. It's going to be called Chasing. And I should probably not be talking about it too much because I haven't announced it, but I'm not signed or anything. It doesn't matter. But yeah, that'll be the first song on that, and it'll be out probably in a couple months or so. But no, Travis did a great job. If anyone listens to bands like Sleeping with Sirens, like that's very similar to like what Travis's vocals are with Colorblind.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Do you still play the violin nowadays, though?
No, I wish.
You should pick it back up and then try to incorporate it.
Yeah, actually, that would be really cool. I mean, luckily with production is that like I can get away with like being not instrumentally inclined and just like focus on my vocals, which is kind of funny because before I joined Rune, I was actually like going all in on learning how to play drums. Like I was taking online classes on Drumeo and stuff. And then like as soon as like I figured out that I was in for Rune, I like just kind of stopped focusing on it so much. I was like, great, now I have to just like make sure I'm the best singer I can possibly be. So,
right.
Because if I like one thing about like me being in any sort of project is I don't want to like let anybody down type deal.
Right.
Like, especially myself because I'm my own worst critic. So
exactly. Yeah, and also a jack of all trades is a master of none. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'd rather just like be really good at like one or two things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I want to jump back to the tattoos because I see you have like an anime tattoo
Yes.
right there. Can't tell who it is from a distance, but I see red hair. What is that? Let's
Yeah,
talk
so
about
I
that.
used to play this game called Card Fight Vanguard.
Okay.
And so this is a specific card from that game. This is a vampire. I really like vampires. So
Were you a Twilight fan?
I didn't read the books, but I did love the movies.
Okay.
I'm not ashamed of it. Team Edward all the way because he's
Hell
a vampire.
Yeah. Edward.
But yeah, these are actually. I have my entire back done as well. It's also an anime tattoo. It's like Sasuke, Itachi, and Sasuke's daughter Sarada.
Did you actually watch all of
Yes.
Naruto and all?
Yeah,
God.
I loved it.
See, you had time to read.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
you chose
No,
not to.
Yeah, I mean, like I read all the Harry Potter books like 3 times, and like I used to read for fun, but just nowadays I definitely can't. Like I work 2 jobs and then music on top of that, and then also trying to keep some sort of social life to like not.
No, true. Not go crazy.
Yeah, to not go crazy, but yeah. Naruto's so good. I don't know how I always segue into like Naruto, but I loved that anime so much.
I never watched it, and it's because I have the attention span and memory of a goldfish. So by the time, how many episodes is it now? Like 600 something, probably more?
I think it's more.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's more.
Especially now with like Boruto, like.
Exactly. By the time I get to episode 80, I'm gonna be like, what happened in episode 1? Like, I have no idea what happened
And
here.
there's so much filler also that you could probably. I think they have like a guide online where it's just like this is like the actual important stuff in Naruto.
Yeah,
and you can skip everything else.
They do a lot of filler guides for super long shows like that, but I just don't
and
have
it
the
cuts
energy
out
to.
like almost half the show. So
Yikes.
yeah, it's pretty hilarious.
What other animes have you gotten into after Naruto?
I'm not like an huge anime nerd, but like the few animes that I did get into, I got into Attack on Titan a little bit. I was in a Sword Art Online for like the first season, but I feel like after like they got out of like the original Nerve gear with Sword Art Online, I was like, dang, this doesn't hit as hard anymore. I feel like that's like the general consensus of that anime. And then
I gave Sword Art Online like a solid 2 or 3 tries.
Yeah.
And every time I'd fall asleep, like on the 2nd or 3rd episode. Insomnia? Hell no. Let me turn something on real quick.
I just like the entire idea because I actually love playing video games. So I'm like, oh my god, like having to live in a video game world that's like super cool. I mean, like I only stick to like my 2 or 3 video games. Like I play like a bunch of League of Legends. Like that's my main video game. And then I also been playing Hogwarts Legacy like so much recently. Like it's actually consumed my life. So,
Right.
Thank God I'm single.
Yeah, well once again the band is the married life and kids. There
Yes,
you go. So
exactly.
you're not single. You just
True,
got-
I'm not single. I'm married to the 3 guys in Rune and my producer, so love you guys.
And you don't need anybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, in this case then, I won't ask you if you're a relationship expert, but we have a who will win.
Okay.
And this is an old one. But who would win in a fight? Helen Keller with a gun or a Roomba with a circular saw attached to it?
The Roomba. 100% the Roomba. I feel like Helen Keller would be like, what the fuck's going on right now? Like, and then before she knew it, her ankles would be chopped off.
Right?
Like,
It's like when somebody kicks you in the ankles, like, damn, that's low.
yeah, like I don't think even me, like, who can see and hear and everything, like, would win against a Roomba with the circular saw, because I just get too tired of like running away from it. I'd be like, you know what? Whatever. And then I wouldn't have feet.
One of my favorite comments on this, because these are all on Reddit, but it was, is the Roomba bloodlusted?
Oh my god.
What if it is?
It's like, what happened to this Roomba in the past? Like, why does it even have a circular saw attached to it?
I mean, I think we have to be a little clear here on Roombas. They're abused. Like, they are overused. You can vacuum your own house. You don't need a Roomba.
I don't have a Roomba. I actually vacuum my own apartment. I feel like I'm one of the few people these days that like uses like a Swiffer and a vacuum still.
Yeah, the good old traditional way, because some of us can't afford Roombas. That's a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is your moment to do a shameless plug, whatever you want to. Well, you already done a couple throughout the interview,
Yeah,
but
I'm
anybody else you
sorry.
want to give a shout out to?
So obviously I'm gonna plug Rune the band. We are on everything: Instagram, TikTok, Spotify. We're just Rune. We just released a new single 2 weeks ago called Missing Piece. Love that song. For anyone that's struggling with self-love, that's pretty much what that song's about. Lyrics kind of show my journey with that. And I'm just going to do a quick shout out to a couple of my homies' bands who have been really supportive of me as like a new vocalist in the scene, because Rune is still relatively new. We're only like around for a year. So JCV47 Music, Joseph, really awesome, like best energy you'll find in the scene. I hope you can get him on the show, actually. That'd be awesome.
Give him a call.
Yeah,
We're waiting.
I'll text him. I'll be like, yo, you got to come do this show. And then also the Luxorn boys have been like super awesome.
They were amazing. They were on here.
Yeah, I actually watched the episode yesterday. I was like, hey, yeah, those guys are super awesome. And then obviously Javi Mello, producer in Miami. Anyone that wants to work with him, I highly recommend it. He's the man. And then Senior Citizen Podcast also. Thank you for having me on here.
No, thank you so much for coming out. And this is the one time that I'm really going to urge everybody, please, as soon as you leave this interview, go look up Rune, go listen to Missing Piece, because I am absolutely hooked on that song.
Thank you.
No, great work, and thank you so much for coming out and, being tired after work and everything. It means a lot to me.
No, thank you. It means a lot to me having me here.
Hopefully we'll get the whole band on one day, and,
Yes.
We'll catch you next time on the Senior Citizen Podcast.
Yes, thank you so much.